MHC, shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you so much for supporting us at rockfin.com. Welcome back from your United Corporations of America founding day break. Yes, I had a good United Corporations of America founding day break. It was really good. Grandma, I wonder if there's a way for the populace of the two Americas to unite like the corporations and elites have. I doubt it. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. Americans are so easily propagandized and so easily fractured off. I'd like to say, oh, we got to unite. I'm just not seeing it. And the left is so easily fractured. You've got gutless crybabies, sellouts like Kyle Kalinske. I mean, there's nothing, there's no movement. There's no nothing. I really don't know what to say. Yeah, we've seen it. Force the vote really showed it. I mean, really, you got to see how everything was sort of how politically homeless we were a year ago when Bernie bailed and Tulsi bailed and all the back Joe Biden. And we had to sit there and really watch Joe Biden and everybody tell us that if we don't back Joe Biden, we're letting Trump win and have to listen to that crap again. And then watch the squad basically do nothing and how we have no political representation at all. None. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. And then just seeing anytime someone tries to put some movement or rally together, then there's all this infighting. Some of it probably started by the intelligence community, but some of it isn't. Some of it is just good old fashioned, selfish, American ego getting in the way. And so I don't see us unifying. I hate to take that stance, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. I really just see infighting and all this crap. And all you can do is just kind of make things as good as you can in your private community, your person. Like I was watching, I follow Backyard Politics, Nikki, who's been on the show a bunch. And she's just has started, I guess, like this little community kitchen, just neighborhood kitchen or whatever she's calling it, a neighborhood food pantry. That's for people who are homeless, who are struggling and, don't have food, or just anyone's lost their job or whatever. And there's like a fridge and a pantry, and she's taking donations, and I put a little donation in there, and it's like stuff like that. She's just helping her neighbors out. I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to just help your neighbors out, because organizing stuff, I mean, and then people just do this thing. If they make a mistake, they can't own it. Just own this exacerbates so many fights just in whatever, just personal life, dating relationships, work, whatever. Somebody does something wrong and someone goes, hey, that's wrong. And the person doesn't give you a full apology. Then I go, I'm so sorry. How can I fix it? So people double down, and so it keeps happening. And there's no left, there's no movement, there's no, we're all in this together. No, we're not. It's just sort of like, and which is what the ruling class is the ruling class is loving watching, TYT turn on Jimmy and Kyle Kalinske selling out like the punk bitch that he is. And, it's just, there's nothing, and then people fighting on social media and people trying to, we're going to do Medicare for all rallies. And then some, and that blows up. It's just, it's really, there's really nothing to do. So just, I don't know. I've been trying to do this show for the last 4.5 years to sort of build community and get activism and try to wake people up to information that they're being, how they're being lied to. And as and it helps me wake up, and interviewing interesting people and improving my worldview. And, then people call me a grifter or whatever. And it's just, I don't think people realize I'm first and foremost a professional comedian. I've done over 300 episodes of TV. Is this show paying all my bills? Yes, it is. I'm very grateful for that fact. I'm grateful to all of you. Could I be making a shit ton more money if I just did funny videos on YouTube? No politics, no social commentary. Absolutely. If 4.5 years ago, I would have started to put 10 to 12 funny clips online, little skits, sketches, whatever, maybe pick a theme, but nothing to not calling out the war machine, not calling out the fucking billionaire pedophiles, not calling out the corrupt media, not calling out the awful two-party system. And I just kept it sort of simple and light and fun, which I could do. I could do that. I was in a sketch. I could do that. I've done that for decades. I'd have probably 200,000-300,000 subscribers right now. I wouldn't be demonetized. Nothing. I mean, I'd be making making way more money, probably 10 times as much money as I'm making now. So, and I would just be investing in Bitcoin and not telling anybody. I would just be like, I'm just, I'd be learning about Bitcoin and not sharing it with you. But I share about Bitcoin to people. Oh, I'm a grifter and I'm trying to hustle people for money. And I whatever, man. I don't know how many times I got to say, do your own research. And if you want to buy Bitcoin, great. Do your own research. Don't spend money you can't afford. Or don't. And people call me this Bitcoin grifter. Fine, man. I don't give a shit. Don't spend a fucking nickel on Bitcoin. It's going to go through the roof and I'm going to have a bunch of money. When the banks collapse and the housing market collapses and everything, I'm trying to give you I'm trying to give you a little lifeboat. I'm trying to give you knowledge from people like Christy I and Rosie Tran, who's a very smart person and she has a genius IQ, and Max Kaiser. And you want to go on social, call me a grifter and whatever. You have no idea what I do as a comedian, what I could be doing. I could be doing a lot of just, you've noticed I've started to do more like government secrets we laugh about, but even government secrets, there's times I'm like, fuck, this sucks. Anything can happen. That game show is just to have fun. I could just do that, man. I basically could have really early in my career spent a lot of time just pursuing traditional show business. And I did it and could have kept pursuing it. But then I started going to the war zones and volunteering for the American Red Cross after 9/11. And I really realized I wanted more to my life than just being like a sitcom star or something. I wanted to do more with my voice and as a comedian. And, I got a gift, to be a comedian. It's a gift that a lot of people don't have. 99.9% of the population can't go on stage. They can't do this. They wish they could. They wish they could be funny. They try to be funny. I see some YouTubers try to be funny and I'm like, oh, they wish they were a comedian, but they don't have the talent to do it. And they certainly don't have the fucking guts, the balls to go on stage and go through the gauntlet of live comedy clubs, shitty open mics, and be booed and fired and threatened and all the crap you got to go through as a comedian. There's way more stuff I could be doing. So I don't know. I'm going to, keep doing the show and try to educate those that want to wake up and be educated. And if you don't watch me. I don't know what more to do. It's just like, there is no movement. There is no, we're all working together and we're all a bunch of, no, we're not. I mean, like, yeah, I get the dumbest criticisms. Like there's a bunch of you that are really awesome and you get it and you're working and trying to do what you can and you support the show. And I'm so grateful for it. But I don't know. America seems hellbent. I mean, it's honestly, America's like an addict. And when an addict is really spiraling down out of control, you just got to get out of the way, because if you try to help them or get in the way, you will get collateral damage. They will fucking smash your car up. They will get the DUI. They will cost money for you. They will, like, you'll get pulled over and they'll have drugs in the car. And because you're driving, you get busted. Be like, no, they'll take everyone down with them. That's what an addict that is spiraling out of control is doing. And America is an addict spiraling out of control. The gun violence is through the roof. It's the worst. I mean, and when I bring that up, there's always someone, oh, grab gun, Second Amendment, our rights. Great. Everybody get a gun. Great. Everyone gets a gun. Oh, that Moors group, when they get guns, we don't want that. Whatever. Everyone gets a gun. I don't know what to say. I mean, this country has absolutely gotten worse in the last 20 years. The last 2 or 3 years, for sure. The last year, nobody seems to have learned a fucking thing from COVID. It wasn't like COVID was this great awakening. And no, everyone's just back to normal, being dumb and stupid. And guns, and I don't see people waking up. I don't know. I keep waiting for this. This will wake everyone up. Then this, but now we'll get no. January 6th happened, and everyone's just like, well, that's in the past, and that wasn't that big of a deal. All right, Graham, stop using the words insurrection. Okay, people with guns taking over the Capitol. They took over the Capitol. What do you call that? A rave? And so, yeah, an addict act this way, you just got to let him implode. You got to just get out of the way, protect yourself and your family, and get out of the way. I don't know what else to say. Like this, we're all got this big movement. I'm not seeing it. That's why, I've posted on Instagram about doing beach cleanups and shit, because that's something I can do in my area. I've volunteered at food banks. I've volunteered for the Red Cross. Just volunteer for organizations you like. Donate your time. If you got kids, try to educate them to really wake up to the world around them. And then fucking be careful, because America is a crazy drug addict, nutbag, meth head with a fucking gun that doesn't want to listen to reason. So I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't care what your view on guns is. Buy a gun, don't buy a gun. Everyone gets a gun. I don't give a shit. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I'll keep doing the show. And Ron and I are going on the road, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope you can come to those shows, because they're a lot of fun, and we're comedians, and all these fake left indie posers, they're not comics. They wish they were. Some of them have tried it, failed. Couldn't do it. You can't just be a comic. I don't care if you're funny on your YouTube show. You can't just go on stage and you can't just do that. So, yeah, man, I know it's a lengthy and maybe a more depressing answer to your question. I don't see, we are in class warfare, and people don't want to wake up to it. Some people are. You guys are. If you watch the show, you are. But I don't know. I don't, you see how powerful the unification of the left from Bernie. I mean, that's what Bernie did. Like, give him credit for that. There's plenty of things to criticize Bernie about, but he brought us all together. He woke a lot of us up. I was one of them. And I went to those rallies in 2019 and 2020, and even the 2016 was like, all right, cool. And he woke a lot of people up, got a lot of people involved. And then, the machine and just the short-sightedness of selfish Americans will always get in the way. And some of it, again, is from the deep state and this and that, but some of it's just, that's just selfish human beings in general, but mainly the American selfishness is a rare breed of selfishness. And I've dealt with this since high school, like playing team sports. It was so simple. If we all work together for a common goal, we're going to win. If we don't, we lose. I mean, every team I was on with a losing record, people were fighting with each other. Every team I was on with a winning record, everybody worked together. Everyone held each other accountable. People would say, I screwed up. The teams that pointed, you screw up. Those teams always lost. So the indie media left, there's no unified voice. There's no movement. There's just people that got in it to make money. Try to be Howard Stern, talk about celebrity camel toes, or try to, audition for MSNBC or whatever. That's what it is. I don't want to be on MSNBC ever. I mean, if MSNBC offered me a contract, I'd be like, okay. I'd make sure my lawyer just make sure I get all the money up front. They're going to fire me. Make sure, even if they fire me, I still get paid. And then I would just use that money to build out and have a fancier studio and do more scripted stuff. But I would tell MSNBC or whatever, be like, okay, but you're hiring, and whatever they told me, no, we want you to do the Graham Elwood that you do. Just tone this down a little bit. I'd be, oh, okay, cool. and I just play ball with however many weeks or months I need to do to get the checks to clear. And then I would just fucking unload and then I'd be fired. I mean, it would be that simple. So, but it's becoming obvious. There's a lot of people in the, boutique left, fake left indie media that they got in this for fame and money. And, and when people say Jimmy's a grifter, I was like, Jimmy had a very successful stand-up comedy career. He had 2 Comedy Central specials. He's all the shit. It's just preposterous, And I bet you it's just a bunch of people that wish they could be a comedian. Because let me tell you something. Jimmy can do what Cenk and Anna can do. He can do what Kyle Kalinske can do, but they can't do what Jimmy or I do. I mean, me, Jimmy, Lee Camp, Ron, any full comics. We're real comics. We were comics before we got into this indie media shit. We can all do journalism. It's not that hard. You just have to have, the internet, a search engine and have half a brain, and some integrity. And you can cover stuff, and all the information's out there as I show you every day on this channel. It's not like hidden. The media just deliberately doesn't cover stuff. And I'm going to show you segments today with that same thing. So we can all do what I can do what any of them do. And there's some really fine journalists out there. Aaron Matei, Chris Hedges, Glenn Greenwald, those people I got mad respect for. Whitney Webb, Elizabeth Lee Voss, we've had them on the show. Those are journalists I have mad respect for. But if I really wanted to do that, I could. And none of them, Kyle, Cenk, none of them can go on stage and make a room full of strangers laugh like I can do, like Jimmy can do, like Lee can, like Ron can do. They can't do it. They can't do it. And I wish they could. That's what they're so mad at. Comedians come in and done their job better than them and calls them out. People cannot handle when they're made fun of. And it's accurate because they're jackasses, So, by the Americas, I meant the 2 continents, not just the USA. Oh, great point, MHC. And thank you for making Gotham great again. Yeah, to expand on that point, then I would say Central and South America can, I think, even though there's some repressive governments down there and you've got America sanctioning a lot of people. Central and South America, though those countries, even some of them that have maybe they've had oppressive regimes, they've had big revolutions in their lifetime, in the last 50 years. America, they've had war on their soil. They've had government soldiers just fucking rounding people up. So they know what that looks like. And they're more willing to push back. Americans aren't. And then the Americans in the Second Amendment, like it's time for a revolution crowd, be they right or left, they have no idea what a civil war is really like. They have no idea what that's like. And they think it's a video game, or they think it's paintball, or when they go to their local shooting range, they don't understand what it looks like on a daily basis. Gunfire, mayhem, living in PTSD because you're in combat, basically in a combat situation. And then there's just the randomness of just like guerrilla violence, not like the troops coming combat, but just like you're at the store and somebody just blows it up. There's going to be more of that. We've already got the crazy shootings every day, but add that, like, not just random shooting violence, but like targeted, like we're going to get that group. It's going to boil over, and then it's just going to be chaos in the streets, and your electricity is going to go down, and friends and family of yours are going to get killed and raped, and it's going to be awful. Look at what happened in Bosnia, and that was brewing for decades. The hatred in that country between the groups, it was brewing for decades. And when it came to a boil and society collapsed, it was awful. It was fucking medieval what they were doing. Mass graves, ethnic cleansing, which is basically raping young girls of the other ethnic group, raping them with their pure blood or whatever. It was fucking horrific, man. This wasn't some poor third world country. This was Yugoslavia. This was an educated country. I mean, this was Eastern Europe. I mean, so it was savage. It was fucking horrific. So that's what you're going to have. You're not going to the mall because the mall's going to have, there's going to be snipers. And when you go get water, you got to be careful. And if you wear the wrong color, this or that, someone might kill you. And, you know, roving gangs of armed whatever are just going to come and take and do whatever they want. So, you know, and if you're a big gun proponent, okay. And if everything collapses, you're going to be like, shit, I want a gun. If I'm stuck in that situation, I'll probably feel the same way, but I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to be in it. I've been in war zones. They're awful. Just being in Santa Monica last year during the riots, I couldn't sleep. There was helicopters flying overhead. It wasn't fun. And I don't know what combat's like. I just have some PTSD from just being in war zones as a comedian. Again, so America will utterly collapse. Central and South America might actually get their shit together when you see like El Salvador taking, you know, using Bitcoin. I don't know, but I mean, we fucked with Venezuela and Bolivia and all these other countries so much with our sanctions. I mean, Brazil has a right-wing president, Bolsonaro, which everyone's beginning to really fucking hate. And Lula's out of prison now. And if Lula runs, he'll win. And he is a populist. He is a lefty populist, and he could really right that wrongs. But like Brazil, like most countries, has a handful of rich people that they're the ones who got Lula put in prison. So I don't know. It's a great question. It's a really great question. Canada, Justin Trudeau, you know, I don't know. I don't know what Canada would do. America's just going to collapse, and it won't be like North versus South. It'll just be crazy, fractionalized, tribal. There might be little pockets of peace or whatever, but there's just going to be chaos, man. This is going to be fucking awful. Hey, everybody, it's Graham Elwood. We are going on the road, Ron Placone and I, in September and October. Check grahamelwood.com for tour dates, probably coming to a city near you. A lot of these shows have sold out in the past. We haven't been on the road in a year and a half because of the pandemic. Come out and join us. The post-pandemic comedy tour. Go to grahamelwood.com for tickets. New cities being announced every day. Join us and support what we do at patreon.com/GrahamElwood and rockfin.com/GrahamElwood. Blockchain cryptocurrency platform. Thank you. You're making Gotham great again.